Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you how GitHub Codespaces can make contributing to Keptn and Keptn docs much easier. So let's imagine we want to make a change to the Keptn docs. Well, I'm going to use the Lifecycle Toolkit repository as an example. The first thing you're going to want to do is go up to the fork button, and it'll say you don't have any forks of this repository. So go ahead and create a fork under your account. Go ahead and go to the code button and flick across from local to Codespaces, and then click the green create Codespace on main. So after a minute or so, you're dropped into this user interface, which if you've ever used Visual Studio Code will look very familiar. Basically, what you have is a running virtual machine and the copy of the Keptn code, so you can make any changes and it's all kind of linked in nicely to GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Keptn lifecycle documentation, and let's imagine I want to make a change. So let's go into the docs and I don't know, getting started page as an example. Let's imagine I have found a typo or want to add a new bullet point. So I'm just going to copy some of this text so that I can find it in my code space. Click back to the code space and go to the search icon and just paste your text in there, and you should get a result. Clicking that opens the markdown file that we need to change. So I'm going to go ahead and make the change. Now, if I change directory into the docs directory, which are where all the documentation for the website is, so I do a cd into docs. So I can type make markdown lint, and this will go ahead and check that the syntax of my markdown is actually correct. Notice I've actually got an error here, and it's telling me how I should fix it. It's saying max one sentence should be on a line. So just putting that on a new line and then running make markdown lint again should make the linter happy. Yep, it's happy, no errors this time. Now let's preview my changes. So I can type make server, and this will go ahead and spin up a copy of the documentation website in the code space. Notice down on the bottom right-hand corner here, you've got a box that says your application is running on port 1314, open in a browser. If you click that link, it will actually try and open the documentation page, but you'll get a 502. That's okay. That's just Codespaces being a bit too eager to show you the link. So wait until the Codespace shows you this web server is available at localhost 1314. Press Control-C to stop. If you now refresh that page with the 502, your preview of the Keptn documentation website will be up and running. So go ahead and navigate to the page that you changed, and you should see your changes reflected on the preview documentation website. Now, any changes you make will be reflected live. So if I remove that blah, 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 for example, you'll see that Codespaces has detected the change and is rebuilding the site. So again, if I refresh the page, now let's imagine you are happy with your changes and you're ready to raise the PR. Flick back to Codespaces and go to the source control button, which is the third one down on the left. Find the file or files that you have changed. In this case, I've only changed one markdown file, which is this index.md. Click the little plus button to stage the changes. Give your commit a commit message. I highly recommend that you make it a conventional commit message, as in docs : some message, and make sure that the S after the colon, i.e. the first word, is not capitalized. I have hit this issue as well, so make it all lowercase. Now don't click commit yet. Keptn and the CNCF require that all commits be signed. So instead of commit, go to the three little dots and click the drop down, go to commit, and then commit staged signed off, this second bottom option here. So your changes have now been committed. Go back to the three dots and go to push. And this will push the changes up to your fork of the repository. So in a new tab, navigate to your GitHub account, and you should see the fork that you created. Go into there, and the very first commit that you see should be whatever you've just done, docs, some message, and it says the branch is one commit ahead of Keptn main. And that is it. You are now ready to go to the Keptn version of the lifecycle toolkit and create a PR. That's how easy it is with GitHub Codespaces to actually raise a documentation PR or indeed a core PR for Keptn. Now, there's one extra thing. GitHub Codespaces gives you a generous free tier each month, but I always like to go to my GitHub account and go up to Codespaces in the top menu here, find the Codespace that is currently running, click the 3 little dots and hit delete. And that will completely delete that Codespace environment, so you're not going to get charged for that environment anymore. I hope this helps get started committing and improving the Keptn documentation and also the core Keptn code. Thanks.